Hello and welcome to the Pennzoil Pro Series for Season 5, Race 2 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Advocare 400. After the exciting Copa Amateur Series race, 42 drivers from the Pennzoil Pro Series are lined up, ready to take the track for 82 laps around this mile-and-a-half oval. We saw an exciting race last week with the Copa Amateur Series, and the Pennzoil Pro Series look to do just the same here today. Here's your starting grid for today's race, with Nick Purcell's taking the pole, with Rick Witt starting shotgun in that number 68 Red Viper Racing Dodge. Down the order, Derek Petrie a good starting spot. Jay Barker, their defending champion, will roll off in the 10th position. We also have other drivers who are seeing the track for the first time this season as the drivers that did not qualify for Daytona. A lot of them have made this weekend's race, including last year's winner of this race, Blaine Keys, starting off in the 33rd position from row 17. Here are the cars that did not qualify for the list at the bottom of the screen, including a bunch of drivers who had better luck at Daytona, but will have to sit out for today's race. We've got a few onboard cameras here today. Notably, our Garmin onboard with Ryan Kendall will be coming from inside the cockpit. Kyle Collins and Brian Lennon carrying the Miller Lite onboard and the Chevrolet onboard. They'll be on top of the car as they carry action for tonight's race from onboard and the driver's perspectives, and we'll get shots from them later in the race. The pace car goes down pit road, and we're about to see the green flag for today's race. Back again for race 2. The green flag is out, and the Pennzoil Pro Series drivers will rocket off into turn 1 for the first intermediate oval of the season. Excellent start for Purcell's as he will take the lead, and here we see a flyby of the cars, 42 strong going down into turn 3. Hopefully we can keep all 42 cars by the end of the race, in contrast to Daytona. However, we have 81 more laps to run as Purcell's is going to try to lead some more here, but he's got some pressure from behind. Here comes Garrett Senor in the number 40 car. The Pete Store Dodge looking strong, showing off the advances that single car team has made in the offseason, and definitely looking good doing it as Jay Durrell on the inside, once considered the best single car team, is now a two-car operation with the 59 in the field. But still, to our hearts, the 43 car has always been an underdog as a single car team in the past. The 38 car, Varon Luke starting to make a move. The 68 car, outside pole sitter, starting to slip back a lot right now. Already outside the top 5. As we look behind, things are getting super racy with 2 rows of 3-wide racing, and the 2 cars trapped back there as well. Underneath them, the Copa Amateur Series champion from 2016, Logan Sanders, making a move and going to the front of the field. Here's last year's winner, Blaine Keys for Smart Motorsports. Had a dismal run at Daytona in the dual qualifiers, was not able to advance through, and unfortunately had to sit the biggest race of the season out. Is back again with a vengeance. A 5-year veteran, definitely is not used to sitting races out, but wants to come back with that move forward and try to make a difference here today and get some points on the board. But still a long way to go, and the season isn't over. Jay Durrell in the Fitzwater Australia Racing car has had a lot of success. In fact, he finished runner-up here twice in the last 2 years, looking to try to seal the deal this time and actually bring home a win here at Atlanta. But just in front of him, a great run so far by the Vincent Motorsports Dodge. They had a lot of struggles 2 years ago in their debut as Davidson Motorsports, and has made a lot of strides since. Ryan Dunn in the 75 car looking to come by these 2 Dodges and make a run at Nick Purcell's. And the Ice Valley Dodge on the inside had a great run at Daytona and is backing it up again. This is another team that's looking to also continually improve as they go on. Also joined the sport in the 3rd season of the series and has only gotten better from there. The 11 car of Kyle Singer rounding out the top 5, looking very racy in the Camping World Chevrolet, but then again, what's new out of that veteran, as he's also always going to be a competitive driver for the championship. And speaking of championship, it's never too early to start thinking. Addison Steinbeck has gotten off on the right foot. Winner at Daytona, just has to keep backing it up. He's had some struggles in the past few years, but this was his first win since season 1, where he went on a tear and won 2 races in a row. Definitely consider him a championship threat. but it is still a little early in the season to consider him a favorite. Mired about mid-pack right now, but their speed at Daytona shows that Knight Hoffman Racing might have something to bring to the table, and that maybe the Fords might be a powerhouse, a hidden dark horse maybe going into the championship season. We're looking at Jay Durrell making the first move at the lead, and Nick Purcell's in that bright yellow Dollar General Toyota, a new sponsor on board the hood of that Old Spice Racing Toyota, and he is going to slip back to second place as the very familiar Australian flag painted car will jump out to the lead. He's just got to hope that he can hold it throughout the entire race, unlike the last few seasons where he's been the bridesmaid and came up just short in seasons 3 and 4. We got a couple cars in the back here, including last year's champion from the Copy and Image Series, Murtav Srishal, though the learning curve is there, and we've seen it in the past. Jack Porkins also a prominent Copy and Image Series driver in his day. But how about Blaine Keys in the 41 car? Last year's winner, we expected him to do a lot better at this point, but we've noticed the outside line, if you're trapped out there and can't get to the inside, it's very hard to get back going again. And he has slipped all the way to the back of the field with his teammate Julio Caesar there. However, we expected him to at least try to make a charge towards the front of the field at this point in the race, a quarter of the way in. Jay Durrell in the 43 will be the first car to bring him down from green flag pit stops. You saw Derek Petrie and Brian Boone in the 70 car flying by on the outside as they are looking to try and pick up some spots on pit strategy. A few other cars. Oh, there's a car spinning in the background, it looks like. And I believe I was correct. It's Brian Lenning with huge rear end damage. Who is the perpetrator? Looks like Allison Rhodes is going to have a little bit of a case of brake fade coming down to pit road. We don't use too much brakes, but should have definitely had him warmed up by now to make that stop easily. The 82 car you just saw there, more problems for him as he will miss his pit stall. Almost made it, but was unable to stop correctly. But even more problems on this round of pit stops. The 04 of Addison Steinbach is going to have an electrical issue, is not able to get that car refired after coming into the pit box, and that is going to set him multiple laps down. And unfortunately for the Daytona champion, it does not look like he's going to have a repeated success here today at Atlanta. And after that wild round of pit stops, out front is Jay Durrell still. Michael Jones and Kyle Collins, though, coming into the mix as they have really jumped up the order since coming down pit road there for those pit stops. Kyle Collins is always a dark horse in these races. He's never one of the flashy ones, but is always a consistent threat to win each race we go to. And running third place right now, bearing down on the leaders. He is doing just that here again today. Webster Zygarde has always been considered a dark horse, but mired back in the field. Aaron Lukes, Brian Boone also threats here today to win. But how about some of these other drivers here, like Sergio Arvin Alonso in the 44? Smart Motorsports not happy with how they performed last week, looking to do a lot better here today. You saw Chloe Baker's roll running great, and the 00 car slipping back pretty far in the order after starting off on pole. Pit stops were not kind to that car, and he was very slow on the right side coming around the car. So unfortunately for the 00, he's going to have some time to make up on the track. The 82 car's problems are going to continue to get worse. Not only did he miss the pit stall, he's going to have electrical problems of his own, underpowered going around the track, and he's going to have to try to coast that back to the pit stops while painstakingly seeing all the cars fly by on the outside under green flag racing. Back on board, Kyle Collins and the Miller Lite on board. We see him going after the 47 car, Michael Jones, going for second place, looking to try to make a move. But as you can see, in terms of when you got clean air, the outside line is actually very viable. It's more of when you're in the pack and there's a bunch of dirty air, the outside line, you can't make anything happen. You've got to have that open front nose in order to make it run on the outside. You saw Gilbert in the 82 car just crawling around the inside of the track. So far yet no caution, as it looks like the ASCA officials deem that he can make it back to pit road. The 18 of Chloe Baker, how about a call out for this driver? Been in the season for 5 years, has kind of had a turbulent ride in her tenure in the series, up and down for different teams. This is a new team for her again this year. She's been down to the Copy and Image Series, back up to the Pennzoil Pro Series, but through it all has really continued to try again. The Brembo disc brakes have been with her for quite a while now, since season 3, I believe. and she has really given it all and giving it a good solid top 10 performance right now. That's a great run for this upstart team, buying assets from some of the closing teams last year, just trying to make something work as a brand new team in the sport, and is really showing them strong. Was not able to make the Daytona race, but definitely backing it up here today at Atlanta with a solid performance. However, just in front of him, it's worthy to note, we've had some roughing up here in the past few laps. Nicholas Samudio, another Toyota from the camp, TRD, as that 96 car's entire driver's side door is caved in, reportedly from roughing it up with the 75 car of Dunn. And they're going to continue to battle here as Samudio coming on the outside, really strong right now, but here comes Brian Boone in the 70, and we're going to have a 3-car battle down into turn 1. And these guys are not showing any signs of letting up right now, as Samudio almost getting pushed up into the wall there. Dunn not letting this 96 car getting by, as well as the 70 really putting up as big of a fight as he can. And you can see it's allowing some of the cars behind to get into the mix. Webster Zygarde and Aaron Luke. Zygarde really not making his name known last week at Daytona, but starting to crawl up towards the front like he's very notably known for. Look at the 75 sticking his nose up the middle, trying to get back at the pack, and this is close racing at Atlanta. But these veterans, all of them been around since 2014, and they're all making it work splendidly out there, putting on a great show for the fans. And Samudio's just hoping, can I please get around the 75 car, as he obviously has the quicker car right now, just unable to find his way by at the current moment in time. And it's a very similar look actually out front with the 47 car making it by the 43 car for the lead. And Darrell, look at the move he's going to put on the 88 car. That's a lap car, just unable to get out of the pits well, I believe, is what caused the 88 to fall back so deep in the field. And he is making life hell for the leaders right now, as they are going to split him in the middle. Darrell really not taking any chances right now, and he is going to try to go for the lead here. Kyle Collins, though, slowing. He's going to come to pit road. I think he almost wanted to just back out of that situation as he's going to come down pit road. Brian Lenning looks like is also coming down, but he is off the pace from his earlier pit road collision. As we see cars coming through, and there's a caution on the track. Arsh Hossain in the 0-2 destroyed. Smoke billowing out of the car. Kyle Singer as well as damage. You see him on pit road. And the entire right side of the wheel has been completely torn off on that 11 car. And I believe we have some more cars involved. Let's see what happened here. Hossain running with his teammate, and they're going to come together. That's not good to see. Jack Porkin's going to be involved. Oh, and he's going to come down the track. We've seen much worse than that, but Singer is not going to be happy with that, I believe. Just trying to escape by on the inside there, not going to be able to find a hole to get through, and that, I believe, that will end his day early, as Sanger had a great run earlier in the top 5, was going strong. But let's see what happened here. The 04 car just, I don't know about that. That's very suspicious. And the worst part about it, they're teammates, and Steinbach isn't even on the lead lap, so probably going to be a team meeting after the fact. But there's a little bit of extracurricular activity during caution flags. We mentioned the hard racing. Well, Dunn did not appreciate that very evidently, and he is going to dump the 96 car under caution. That's very questionable. Back on board with 17 car to see this incident, and that looks like that's going to garner a little bit of a review from the ASCA officials, as midway through the race, I don't think you want to be dumping people under caution. But the race must go on, as the 18 car, unfortunately not out front, was caught off by pit stops. Wow, look at the 70 car. I don't think that's legal, as he's going to jump the start. What an ambitious move if that is legal, but we'll have to see. Boone a lap down, trying to get a jump on the rest of the field and get back on the lead lap. Derek Petrie, though, as we were saying, and there's the 70 car coming down pit road. Looks like he is black flagged. Definitely an ambitious try it there by the 70 car, but he will get caught for it. The 53 car is in the lead as we go back green flag racing. The 83 behind it. We have another caution flag. William Brock in the wall. Colin Denton involved as well. And the race has really gone to hell in the last few laps. What is going on? The 64 car looks to be done after this wreck. And Denton was off the pace a little bit, and it looks like it's just going to cause mass chaos behind. 4 wide. Pergio Arvin Alonso looks like it's a little squirrely in the 4 wide situation there, and unfortunately William Brock is on the other end of it. Unfortunate for Galloway Warham Motorsports, as they've been trying to build their program, but this isn't going to do them any favors, as FanDuel on the car very generously supporting the car for the whole season, and that's not exactly what they wanted to see out of their entry today, as he's going to go a lap down trying to get that damage repaired. But green flag is out again for Derek Petrie in the 53 car, as pit stops worked wondrously for him. He wasn't up in the top 5 early in the race, but really it was able to use pit stops to his advantage and take a early lead here as we come across the 2/3 mark in the race. Behind him, John Gilbert in the 82 car. He is multiple laps down from having those electrical issues, but you see the burst of speed. He is obviously not underpowered anymore, so he is going to try to unlap himself. But back in the pack, you see the 43 car. He was leading this race for a sizable margin earlier in the day, but he is trying to fight his way back through the lap cars and get back to the front. Durrell trying to get to the front of the pack and just so close again to the lead. Unfortunately isn't there quite yet. And Dunn again finds himself in a 3 wide situation. Still unsure of what was going on there between him and Smudio, but that has not let him slow down at all, as he is in the 2nd position, riding very intensely with the 82 and the 18 cars. You can say what you want about Dunn, but I'm not sure why these lap cars, especially the 82 car, are fighting these guys so hard. The 82 is a lap. Look at Durrell on the inside there. And the 5th Squad Australia racing car using the bumper, forcing his way. They're going to get into each other. They're in the wall. The 43 car spinning. And that is exactly what I feared. It is the big one in Atlanta. Oh no, and that is a bunch of cars going to get taken out in this one. Samudio, your pole sitter, Nick Purcell's. Caesar looks to be destroyed on the apron there. And I saw that one coming from a mile away. Durrell made it 4 wide jumping down into turn 1. And an overly aggressive move is going to turn bad for him. We mentioned he wanted to win this race so bad, and he put everything on the line there. Just a little too much, a little too early, riding on board with Brian Lenning. And you can't quite see what happened up front, but you can see the result of it. And the 5 already had a pretty bad day going for him, and it's not going to get any better with that, as I believe he'll probably just take it down to pit road and end the day early here. As unfortunately, that 4 wide situation was not going to work. Dunn just trying to get by the lap cars here, and John Gilbert trying to stay on the outside line there, try to give himself any hope of getting back in this thing, and you see there's just not enough room going down the straightaway. 99 of Willis, all the 16 of Monaco taking hits from both ends. And the 83 at Collins was running up front earlier in the day. There's Sanders as well involved. And Chloe Baker, her day has just gone from bad to worse. Unfortunately, a lot of drivers are going to receive damage there in the closing stages of the race. But we got 10 laps to go and 10 laps to figure out who is going to win this thing. Remember, there's no green-white checkers in the ASCA League, so if we get another caution, that'll be it pretty much. Although it's still 10 laps to go, we could probably get back going. But remember, cautions take about 4 laps to decide. So anywhere in the 4-lap range is when we might be able to see an official race here. Looking down from the chopper cam, here comes Ryan Dunn, looking on the inside of the 53 car. This time, in contrast to last restart, he has cleared the lap traffic, and he is going for the lead. Dunn on Derek Petrie. These two drivers have raced against each other for 5 years, and nothing has changed. They are still racing each other as hard as ever. And here comes Dunn to the inside of the car, of the 53 car. Overdrive Motorsports, looking for their first career victory in the Pennzoil Pro Series, has shown so many increases in speed over the few years they've been running. And it looks like with the addition of Ryan Dunn, they have found something. And they are going to the front as Ryan Dunn is going to take the lead. And he will officially lead his first lap of the day. In the Ice Valley Dodge, showing the field around the track in the closing stages of the race. And Petrie, what can he do to get back around him and re-secure the lead in the closing laps of the race? Ryan Kendall has moved into the 3rd place. How about the 4th place run by Matthew Brown in the DW Motorsports entry? they're doing really well. We see them just behind. If they slip up at the front of the pack, these two guys are the first ones to pounce. Sam Rogers also, we noticed him way back in the field early in the race. He has really rebounded in the late stages for a top 5 run. Way to go for Sam Rogers. And if they all make a mistake in front, he'll also be there and trying to capitalize on the front of the field's mistakes. But as they come around for the white flag, it's going to need to take a big catastrophe for him to get back in this thing, as Ryan Dunn, just in front of him, a lap car probably will not affect the racing. But for Ryan Dunn, it's been a long time since he's been to victory lane. 3 seasons, in fact. You have to go all the way back to 2015, where he won the season finale for National Racing to see his last victory. But that's all going to change here today. First career win for Overdrive Motorsports, and the first in over 50 races for Ryan Dunn, as he will be the Advocare 400 victor here today. And a stellar drive by Dunn. A hard-fought victory right to the end with Derek Petrie, and you see Petrie coming up on the inside, giving a congratulatory wave. Unsure what the ASCA officials will think of the moment, I should say, at the middle of the race, but doesn't take away from the fact that that was a hard-fought victory all the way to the end for Dunn. Petrie will have to settle for second place, and Kendall in the top 3. Brown and Rogers rounded at the top 5. How about Ruby Easton in 6th there? A solid effort out of that team as a whole, because Overdrive Motorsports, that'll be 2 consecutive top 10 finishes for both cars. Amazing performance so far early in the season. Blaine Keats, last year's winner, will finish 21st, not what he wanted to see in his first race back, as well as a few other drivers at the bottom of the board like Kyle Collins. Nicholas Smudio had great runs going until the last part of the race. How about Jay Durrell in 32nd? Will not be a runner-up again, but not where he wanted to be on the leaderboards, especially in the third panel in 32nd position. Here's the point standings. Ryan Dunn, Ruby Easton on top of the board. How about that for Overdrive Motorsports? Amazing start to the season for them. Sam Rogers, Matthew Brown as well. Very interesting top 5. And maybe not what we would expect early in the season, but it is just that. Still early in the season. Plenty of time left for the rest of the drivers to make a run at the championship. But that's all for now for the ASCA League. The Pennzoil Pro Series will be going to Charlotte, North Carolina for the 3rd race of the season. It'll be exciting, and we'll see you all there.